He sold out arenas in his last few fights, and if this fight sells out, this would be his fourth sellout. If Devin beats, and that's if Devin beat Ryan. Do you believe he's on his way to becoming the best fighter in the world as one of the faces of boxing?
I would say not the best fighter in the world, even though he's in that category of the top 3. But I also would say that it will be sold out based on Ryan's popularity. And Devin Haney added to that his credibility, his undefeated record and undisputed history that he has behind him, and his 0 that he has behind him also. That doesn't do nothing but fuel the fire of this fight will be sold out at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And this will be probably the 4th, maybe, if my count is wrong, probably the 3rd championship fight of this magnitude. I was one of them with Travis Cloud. Of course, Danny Garcia from Philadelphia had some fights there, maybe one. And now you have this historic fight of this time. But both guys has the credibility for fans to want to see this fight and also buy this fight on the zone because of what? Not what I say. Devin Haney has proven that he earned his position, not given, and Ryan Garcia have earned it also. But that is a difference. What is that difference? Devin Haney has become the fighter in that weight division and the weight division underneath. He established that underneath the division that they are fighting at now. He wants to establish the same thing or even more. That's one of the reasons why we're here. And Ryan Garcia is at a point early in his career which is very unusual that nobody has talked about or even understand or witness it. With a young career, and Young himself is in a position where he must win this fight to be able to not be making history of not being able to win the big one. See, the big one is such important. The first time, you get a pass. The second time, maybe not. Who we think or who he say he is. And normally in baseball, no, always in baseball, they say 3 strikes and you're out, correct? He don't want to get to the 3rd strike, so he must now strike now. Can't put it no other way than that, because I think thinking that way, Ryan Garcia, he would take it very, very seriously as that. And the press conference and the shenanigans, we all done that. I think I'm one of the kings of it. So, Ali is the god of it. So, Muhammad Ali, that is. Yeah. So, I believe, personally, that this will be a fight, however, on how long, it takes for it to end. It will end in a knockout. And we're going to be talking one way or the other. I'm telling you, I feel it. I believe that both guys, whether they don't like each other and all that, I think they got something to prove, which is, to me, is such a motivation than even me not liking you. I think wanting to prove something to you than not liking you, the proving is the most challenging thing that an athlete can have amongst another athlete, even teams. They want to prove something. That's bigger than me not liking you. And so they're two different motivations.
You previously said to be the best in the world, it's about economics. You have to be able to
be the best in the world is not necessarily about economics.
But you have to put it's about
beating the best in that era, in that division, in real time. And when you do that, everything else must follow what was accomplished. You'll be considered as a babbling idiot if you have witnessed greatness in any era, especially in 2024, and deny what you've seen when majority agree what they have seen deserve that respect.
What do you think about his yesterday? He had a blood in his mouth. You know, preparing for this fight and having a blood in your mouth. Do you think that's like?
Who had a blood in their mouth?
Was it Ryan?
Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Oh, it's okay. He didn't inhale. He didn't inhale it.
Do you think those are some of the shenanigans that you would prefer?
I gave you a softball. He didn't get it.
Right.
But then I gave him another one. He didn't inhale.
But nah, you will.
It was a prop. Ask him. It was a prop.
Are those good shenanigans though? Because a lot of people question Ryan's seriousness. His
Devin said
Listen, I'm not in Ryan's head. Neither are you. But I know for a fact, if you've been in boxing long enough, I've seen the greats with shenanigans. I've seen fighters literally eat a plate of food knowing they ain't gonna make the weight the next day, but just to get in the guy's head. Why would I consciously post something that seems to be the opposite of what I gotta represent and be prepared for the world to see, not only my opponent, for the opponent or for Devin Haney to think about it, is saying that it possibly could be in his head. This is gonna be easy. Okay. Then that become a story, and he become a victim. So I don't say play into none of that stuff. It's part of the game. I think I have some credibility in the shenanigans of the history of boxing. You think I wanted to throw the flag down in Puerto Rico? But I took a calculated chance, and it worked. Will I do it again? 59 years old and can't run that fast? No.
But nah, you were the first undisputed champ in the full belt era. But when Devin became
No, I was the first full belt era. Correct?
Correct.
So
Listen, but when Devin,
we gotta no. I started the first full belt era. Why you think Oscar De La Hoya, my partner, came up to my weight division to fight me for the WBO only belt that I didn't have after the tournament, to make history of being the only fighter that won a full belt era at that time, correct? I started a lot of stuff. But the haters would never, as I tell my guy Elliot Setback, they would never mention that. I didn't even mention it. But a person that understand not just boxing, but understand history, and that's why I'm talking about it. So when they say the full belt era, you're looking at somebody that started it, just like Rosa Parks started. You could sit in the front, not in the back no more. Black folks, or brown and black folks.
Speaking of undisputed, B-Hop, obviously we might.
Somebody has to start it, right? That's the philosophy or the story. Somebody has to be daring. Somebody has to have guts, and everybody don't have that. You're not a bad person. You just ain't a risk taker. You rather sit back and watch and see if you get killed, and then, oh, I was with you. We know that game, but that's not saying you're a bad person. That you're not a challenging person.
when Devin became undisputed, you said you can have all the belts, but that don't mean they will fit your pants. What do you mean by that?
You can have all the belts, that don't mean it'll fit your pants, means that you still don't have the star power. You still don't have the draw of a sellout arena of 20 plus thousands. We live in an era that if it's less butts in the seats and you got 10 belts, then you're a beltless champion with belts, but they won't fit your pants. When you have both, you become something different and extraordinary than anybody else in the boxing at that time, at that era, in any weight class. It's about economics. And when you can put 20,000+ or more in an arena, that's a star in today's world. Well, Bernardi got 3 or 4 belts, and
Do you think
they said I wasn't a star when I beat Tito and I had all the belts. What did that tell you?
Bernard, you mentioned something yesterday during the press
I didn't get
conference.
mad. I wanted them to keep paying me the checks, though.
You mentioned something in the press conference. If in order to be a bona fide boxing star, you've got to fight in New York City. Whoever wins, will they become a bona fide boxing star, regardless of belts?
Yes.
Why is that?
One is a star already.
Yes.
Because of the numbers. And again, this is something unusual when you get questions like that. Great question, first of all. The answer that I can answer it, others can answer the way when they answer it. What do a star mean now today in boxing? What numbers you bring in. What you accomplish in boxing also carries some weight. The belts come last. The belts are the show of it. That's the rewards you get of being a champion. It's a trophy, a representation of that body, sanctioning body. That, matter of fact, is 3% of gross purse. So they're not giving it to you. You had to get 3% of gross purse when you defend your title. You didn't know that, and you're a reporter?
No, I'm just saying. I knew.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know that, but I'm talking about like.
But why you look at me like you was surprised? Like,
No, I didn't know
really?
it was that high. I didn't know it was that high percentage.
So you didn't know?
I knew it, but I knew they got a percent, but I knew it was that high.
What percentage you thought?
I just didn't think it was that high percent. That's loud.
If you was here getting interrogated, you were getting 20 to 40 years.
That's why you gotta have lawyer money, good lawyer money.
Can you give us an update on the possible Canelo McGill fight for upcoming May?
Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is the fight that we need to continue to understand the greatness of this fight and not cheapen it or downplay it by talking about anything else that come after that. Because I think the respect has to be this way, and I used to be angry when I had fights coming up, especially my big fights, where we talking about stuff months down the road, where we looking at a significant fight, not just a fight now. I don't want to talk about anybody else. I'm not going to even mention their name. Who I do want to talk about is Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, which this fight was made, then not made, rumors, and then we are here. I don't want to talk about Bill Haney. I don't want to talk about what's up with me, him. That's a distraction. The distraction will not take place with me because I'll be just as bad as the people that I'm saying. Let's get these young men, not kids.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
The respect that they took this fight in this time, in this era,
He's yelling.
and dare to be great by doing it. It ain't about me, it ain't about Oscar, it ain't about nobody else. They need to get the respect, and I'm gonna say it on the podium within 5 minutes or less. Because it's clear that we must do that. Whether y'all follow the lead that I'm suggesting y'all do, that's your prerogative. But I'm telling you what I'm doing. I ain't talking about any other distractions, because that's all it is.
Bernard, Ryan looked a little vulnerable in his last fight at times against Oscar Duarte. I'm curious to know, what was your assessment of his performance and what he needs to improve moving forward?
I seen some rust in Ryan's last fight, but we all expected that. But I also expect him to win, and he did. But he cannot do the things that he did his last fight with Devin Haney. And I believe that tune-up, warm-up, was perfect to step into this type of fight that he needs to be motivated. Any other fight, like the last one or less talented, it would be disaster because I don't think he'll be really super focused. If we looking at, as you say, in so many cases, some would say, not you, that he's not focused now, what do you think will happen when he's got to fight somebody that you know he can beat?
How much weight do you put on? Okay.
Ready to put that work on. Already.
Gonna be on the undercard, Arnold?
And continue to watch.
Who are you fighting?
Continue to watch. Continue to watch because he's watching and experiencing where he realized and he know that he's gonna have to deal with also the peer pressure of having the lights on him, the peer pressure of having the media cameras in his face, the peer pressure of all the things that come to play before you go in the ring and display your talent. This is with young fighters, especially with Golden Boy, that we are letting them understand they need front row seats to other activities that goes on to be able to handle it mentally, spiritually, and collectively. They must see how this thing go from outside the ring to in the ring, and then when they do get there, they be able to handle it and not be persuaded by the whispers of those who really don't mean right by them. And that's what Ryan had to realize once he realized that Mayweather won his friend, and that's why he back home.
Sir, sir.
Respect.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Arnold, you was up there, but obviously you had the little, run in with Brody in Vegas. What was that all about?